It's the beginning of May, and that means a new What I'm Writing With video. In today's video, I have a slightly smaller but still a pretty fun setup of pens. I have just finished reviewing a number of pens for this month, so what I'm writing with is kind of like what I'm going to be writing with going ahead beyond that. And so these are pens I all really love. I haven't kept any inked up that I'm wondering about. There's a couple that are going to be getting reviews, but I already know I love them. So let's check out what I'm writing with this month. In the meantime, please like and subscribe, hit the notification button, all that kind of stuff. And please consider becoming a member of this channel, where for a small monthly fee, you can get early access to my videos, you'll get priority comments and messaging and stuff like that, and then eventually some members only Q&As. So, what am I writing with for May 2026? So here is a quick look at all the pens I have inked up for writing with in May 2026. Let's start writing with them all. So starting at the, my sort of EDC end, if you will, and I have here the Andhand Method fountain pen. So I reviewed this pen a while ago. All the reviews will be linked to down below. I've put a Kaweco clip on here, just makes it a little bit more sort of EDC friendly for my pocket and things like that. But we'll start by writing currently inked for May 2026. And we have the Andhand Method. And this has a steel medium nib, which writes absolutely beautifully, as you can see. And this has Pilot Iroshizuku Tsukiyo. This pen and ink combination is really lovely. It's a lovely everyday ink, and this is the kind of pen that I do tend to carry every day. Nice robust body. I don't mind if it gets bumped up a little bit because it doesn't show anything, but it's insanely reliable. It is on the expensive end for this kind of setup, but the way the pen writes and the consistency I get from it make this a really wonderful pen in my pocket. And another one that's not dissimilar is this, the Wingback stainless steel fountain pen. This is sort of more a pocket pen. Once again, I put a Kaweco clip on there. But this pen is, as you all know from watching my previous videos, is absolutely one of my favorite everyday carry pens. And it stays inked up with the exact same ink day in, day out. Wingback stainless steel. I'll just put FP for fountain pen. Once again, medium steel nib, and the ink in this one is Diamine. As always, Oxford Blue. Just an absolutely glorious ink, stunning on the page. Absolutely love it. Love it in this pen. Love writing with this pen. And you know what? This pen, even at its higher price point, is worth every penny. But I also have an affiliate code, so if you want to get pens like this at a slightly discounted price, just use that link. And yeah, Wingback makes fantastic pens, ballpoints, mechanical, everything. I absolutely love them. I carry 4 pens from Wingback in my everyday setup. 1 fountain pen, 2 ballpoints, and a mechanical. So very good. Next is an Australian pen. It is this. This is the Platypus Pens Model 2, which I think might be my favorite Platypus pen model. This version, which I nicknamed this the Midnight, because I just love that sort of slightly sparkly blue material that sort of reminds me of the night sky. It is just fantastic pen in the hand. It does post, it posts nicely, but I don't need it to. It's just a really good size, and it writes absolutely beautifully every day. So we have the with a medium nib, And the ink in this is Waterman. Mysterious Blue, which is their blue-black ink. It does dry darker over time, so don't take this color as the color. That color is what you get. It's a beautiful ink and in a beautiful pen. Okay, next is the Caran Leman. This pen speaks for itself. If you're familiar with Caran, if you're familiar with this sort of very beautifully Swiss-made luxurious product, you'll know that this pen is an absolute gift. This has an 18 karat gold, you guessed it, medium nib. And yes, it's another blue ink. This one is Robert Oster. School Blue. This is a really fantastic pen. It feels great in the hand. I don't find it to be too slippery or too narrow. You'll see the full review of this later in May. But you can see, writes absolutely gloriously. Another absolutely glorious pen is next. In fact, I have a very, very nice setup this month. I'm very happy and excited about it. Is it like, the pens are on the pricier end this month, I'm not going to lie. But as I'm, honing my collection, the pens I'm writing with more tend to be the ones that I get more joy out of. And that's where we are. So next we have the Aurora Optima. I should have said, this is the beautiful Italian pen. This is I got this one secondhand a while ago, and I've been absolutely loving it. It has a wonderful fine gold nib on it, and not a blue ink this time, but Aurora Black. I love this ink. It's one of my favorite black inks. It's nice and wet. It writes well in everything. But I have basically said that this pen is going to be for this ink. I like having a nice black ink, and I'm really enjoying, writing with this pen. I love it capped, uncapped, or posted or unposted. It's super comfortable. It's a great size. It's a really fantastic pen. So I'm really enjoying that. Next is one of the newest pens in my setup, and it is the Ashira Aon. And this is made of olive wood. Ashira is a German brand. It's got a nice gold nib on it there. Simple, like little Ashira branding there on the top of the section. And here we have the Ashira Aeon. This has I think it's a medium, and the ink in this is Pilot. Hiroshizuku Shin Ryoku. I think I spelled that right. A really beautiful foresty green ink. I really love the combination of wooden pens and green ink. To me, that just sort of I think for fairly obvious reasons, feels right and feels natural. And this is a really interesting pen. This isn't a pen I carry, I should say that. I don't carry this pen with me in a pen case or anything like that. It actually lives on my desk on the box the pen came in, because it's got this little divot in it where you rest the pen. And so it's a really fantastic desk pen. I go into more detail in the full review where you'll see it sort of in a little bit, finer information, all that kind of stuff, but fantastic pen. Another EDC pen, another relatively affordable one this time, the Kaweco Sport. I have one of these inked up so much. This one I carry with me for when I work at the stationery shop, because A, we sell them, but B, also it's such a reliable pen, and nicely disappears into the pocket very, very nicely. So the Kaweco Sport. This is a classic Sport with a medium nib, and the ink in this is Diamine. Ancient Copper. I mean, it's a beautiful ink, and I think that I really like these sort of darker navy kind of blues and browns as a combination. I've had things like the Twisby Indigo Bronze inked with Mont Blanc Toffee Brown, things like that. So this combination I really enjoy, and because I'm using it all the time, the ink doesn't crud up or anything like that. Ancient Copper can crud up a little bit on the nib, but because I'm using this really regularly, obviously that doesn't happen. Awesome pen. One of my favorite everyday writers now, the Pelican M605, and this is the Strezeman finish. This is a superb pen. It's slightly smaller than the 805 and the M1000, yes, understandably, but just a glorious, glorious pen. Pelican M605 with a extra fine nib this time, but this is where knowing your brands and knowing your nib sort of sizes can be really important. You know that when you get a Pelican, an extra fine is not going to work like an extra fine. So if you like something like a Kaweco Sport medium or the Caran medium or, you know, a standard Yovo or Bock medium, this extra fine is going to be really close to that. The ink I have in this today is Robert Oster. And it is from the Australian Cities set, and it is Perth. Perth is the capital of Western Australia, which is the furthest west state of Australia, and Perth is probably one of the most isolated cities in the world in terms of distance to another capital or anything like that. But this lovely dark grey, almost sort of black ink that dries with tons of personality makes this a really great everyday writer. I've enjoyed journaling with this pen and, you know, sort of doing sort of everyday writing tasks. It's just wonderful. It's a great size for that, great pen for it. Next is a new favourite from a brand that has been a favourite of mine for a long time. It is a Visconti pen. And what we have here is the Mythos, and this is the Hades finish. This was one of the most recent of the Mythos pens. I have the Mirage, which is very similar in shape to the Mythos pens. But this particular version with its sort of matte gold finish and all of that just really screamed out to me as a pen I needed to add to my collection. And I have to say, it's so beautifully balanced and it writes so nicely in the hand. I'm really glad I got it. So we have the Visconti Mythos Hades. Oh, God, terrible. Hades. Medium nib. And the ink in this it's a Van Diemen's ink. In collaboration with the retailer Flywheel. And it is their Rust Brick Red. This beautiful, rich red, almost brown ink, I thought tied in beautifully with some of, like, I'm not sure how the camera will pick it up here, but some of like the little flares of color in this beautiful Hades edition. So just loving writing with that. And I couldn't have one Visconti inked up and not ink up my Homo Sapiens Bronze Age. This pen really probably needs no introduction on this channel. I have spoken about it a lot. I've written with it a lot. It's just marvelous. It has one of the old 23 karat palladium nibs, and this is a fine, but I originally bought it with the medium. I've spoken about this before. I originally bought it with the medium, but the medium was so wet and broad that I couldn't use it for everyday writing. So I replaced it with a fine nib, and I absolutely love it. I'm very lucky to have had two wonderful nibs for this pen because sadly, not everyone gets a good one. So this is Robert Oster Tranquility, one of the two inks that I probably have in this pen the most. I've had a lot of inks in this pen over time, but this one and Robert Oster Soda Pop Blue are the two inks I've had in this the most, but Tranquility is probably my favourite Robert Oster ink. And in this pen, which writes so beautifully wet, you get just that beautiful dark shading of this. I should say this is Midori paper. So we're writing on good quality paper here, which is why, you know, we're seeing some beautiful shading and things from these inks and even some beautiful hits of sheen. I'm not sure how the camera will pick that up as well, but like we're getting sheen on the Oxford blue, on the school blue, you know, and we will get sheen here. We're getting it on the Visconti, on the Rust Brick Red, and we will get it on Tranquility as well. Okay, so there's one more pen. technically there are 2 more pens, but one that I'll show you now, and this is the Gravitas pens Piston Carbon Black. And the reason why Tranquility is in the Homo Sapiens is because Soda Pop Blue is in the Gravitas. Flexed it out there. This has a medium nib on it, and as I said, the ink in this is Robert Oster Soda Pop Blue. Like, absolutely beautiful blue ink. And I love this pen so much. I've spoken so much about it. As I said, a lot of these pens have had full reviews on this channel, so check them out below. Now, one pen that's not going to be in my setup for terribly much longer, because I'm about to film the review after I film this video. I'm not sure if the review will go live this month or next month. It's a bit of a placeholder review. It is this. This is the Faber-Castell Poly. This is a relatively new entry-level sort of, I suppose, in a sense, school pen made by Faber-Castell. It says made in China, all of that. It's simple steel nib. Fun sort of matte rubbery kind of finish, interesting ombre effect, really affordable. I think I picked this up for like 25 Australian dollars, something like that. And I've just put the blue cartridge that came in it. And so we have the Faber-Castell Poly. It's a really nice pen. It has no reason being this nice. And the ink is, as I said, I'll just say Faber-Castell Blue. Probably their royal blue, I would imagine. Yeah, like, it writes so well. It's not going to be to everyone's taste. It's got some real quirks to it. But I'm not going to lie, I have enjoyed writing with it. I've carried this a number of times, and, you know, people always comment about the color of it and things like that, saying it's kind of, you know, it's nice and colorful and out there. And yeah, it is. Not, you know, when you think of 2 of my favorite pens here this month being, you know, the Visconti Homo Sapiens and then the Piston Carbon Black from Gravitas, you can see that this is an out there kind of pen for me. But I really enjoy it. I'm enjoying writing with it. It writes very, very well. So as you can see this month, lots of blue inks, lots of medium nibs, as I said, and also lots of pretty, you know, expensive pens. There's not a whole lot of sort of budget pens in this month, but as I am honing what I'm using, what I'm enjoying, as I'm thinning out my collection and putting things aside for sale, these are the pens I'm turning to more and more. I get enjoyment out of them for whatever reason, and it's mostly because you can see they all write so consistently, and medium nibs are my go-to. I'm not a huge flex fan. I don't really have a whole lot of stub nibs that I use regularly. Extra fine and fine have their place in my setup, but really it's mediums for everyday writing, for journaling, for to-do lists, which is what I use my pens for. All these blues and blacks are there because they get everyday use. These colors, the greens and the browns and things, these are for like headlines. So like when I'm writing the date at the top of each page at the moment, it's going in this green. Everything else is in nice sort of standard blue. It's everyday ink. It's a, you know, but I've got interesting blues, you know, things like Diamine Oxford Blue or Tsukiyo or Soda Pop Blue, great blue. So yeah, it's a lovely setup, a setup I'm really gonna, that I am enjoying, that I will continue to enjoy, but don't be surprised if June sees a slimmer and B, a slightly different setup from a couple of pens. So thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, hit the notifications button, and consider becoming a member of this channel. In the meantime, enjoy your pens, enjoy writing, and I'll talk to you soon.